dogs, this is Robert Bruce filming another astralbob.com video, and today we're going to talk about ideal conditions for having an astral projection, or OBE as they're commonly called. Now, it's easy to say that to have an OBE the ideal conditions would be to have a quiet bedroom, telephone off the hook so you're not disturbed, and to turn the lights out so you're very, very comfortable, get into bed, get yourself comfy, and that's the perfect position. But that has a lot of inherent problems in it. To start with, in your bedroom, and particularly in your bed, you are programmed through thousands of nights to fall asleep when you get into bed. So this affects the majority of people. Get into bed and you'll start falling asleep. So at the very least, if you have to use a bedroom, sleep on, use the other side of the bed, or use the opposite end of the bed, or get a recliner chair in there. You can use a poolside recliner, add a little bit of padding, fold up a comforter underneath it or some foam padding, and you can make a nice little area for OBE there. Now, it is far more effective to have a semi-reclining position rather than to lay flat on your back or on your side, as you would do normally in bed to get comfortable, because it's too comfortable. You get a level of sensory deprivation which makes it very, very difficult to stay conscious, to keep the mind awake while the body falls asleep, which is what we're aiming at for the OBE exit. So a recliner of some kind, poolside recliners are great, which has an angle. You want an angle of about 40 degrees off the horizontal, so about 40-45 degrees is the perfect angle. That way you're not too flat, you're not too upright. Now, that allows you to get very, very comfortable, but the change in position helps to keep that body-mind connection alive, so you don't tend to fall asleep or click out, as to use a modern term. So you want the place to be quiet, but you also don't want it to be too dark. If you're doing it at night time, you want to have at least a lamp on, because the reason is when you develop astral sight, which you often will before an astral projection, that little bit of illumination allows you to see the room around you through your closed eyelids. And also when you do come out of your body, if you have vision problems, now some people find they are restricted to ambient light when they have an out-of-body experience in the real-time zone in their room. And if it is dark, if all the lights are turned out, then it's very, very dark. It's hard to see that you're out of body. You just feel a bit weird and floaty. So having a lamp on, even a low lamp, is a really good idea, because that way you can see something of the room and you'll know when you're out of your body. And also, if you have vision problems when you're out of body, don't forget to make a command, a firm command, repeat it a few times if necessary. Just say, give me light, give me clarity, because that will usually brighten the room up considerably. And this works through communicating with your higher self, which holds all the keys when it comes to astral projection. So learn to start working with that aspect of yourself. So there we have it, but other things come into play here as well, because to keep the body-mind connection alive, which you want to do to have an astral projection in a conscious state, you need a level of slight discomfort, I call it. Now, slight discomfort, having a 45-degree recliner, or using several pillows in your bed if you have to use it, to prop yourself up as if you're about to eat breakfast in bed. That's a good position. And sometimes you'll need something under your bum as well, because it can get a little bit hard there, maybe a sheepskin or a bit of foam or something. And that difference in position will help to keep you focused with less chance of falling asleep. Now the ideal time to have an out-of-body experience is probably between the hours of 3 and 5 a.m. early in the morning. Now most people, the vast majority, have their first full-blown out-of-body experience in the early hours of the morning. They've gone to bed, they've slept for at least 2 or 3 hours, and then they've woken up and they've completely refreshed themselves, stay up for 5 or 10 minutes, wash your face, have a drink of juice or something, and when you feel you're fully awake, go back to bed, relax, assume the position, and deeply relax yourself and use your OBE exit technique when you're relaxed enough. There is something about, there's a magic hour in the early hours of the morning which is ideal for an out-of-body experience, to have one, your first conscious one. As I said, you've had at least a couple of hours sleep, which has refreshed your mind. Your body is still tired, it needs more sleep, your physical body. So that's a good combination, because tiredness in the physical body helps. And you could even get up and take a warm shower, take a nice hot shower to relax yourself even further and help wake yourself up a bit more. And then go back to bed, and you'll find that is the prime time. You'll find having some slight discomfort in your position, your bodily position, is key to staying awake while you are getting deeply relaxed enough to have an out-of-body experience. And that discomfort can be had by, or varied and increased by, putting a wooden board underneath your heels of your feet if you're sitting up in bed. Some people use saliva. You allow the saliva to build up in your throat and you hold it there. It's only a tiny bit of fluid, but you have to be conscious to hold that and stop choking or swallowing it. You can even take a little sip of water, but you'll find the saliva builds up enough quite quickly while you're relaxing if you don't swallow regularly. With using saliva or fluid in your mouth, you can even lay flat in bed or lay on your side, because there's an ample level of discomfort there which will keep you on that razor's edge between waking and sleeping. Now, you have to experiment with these things. I can only tell you the ideal situations that work for most people. You know, everybody has certain variations, things they need. You may have back or neck problems and special considerations, so you may need to fuss a bit with your comfort with extra pillows and padding to get just the right position for you, where you can deeply physically relax, but keep your mind awake with a very slight level of discomfort. And there's a knack to this. But you'll find it. Now, if you have another room, a lot of people use another room for this. They'll wake up early in the morning often, and they move into the other room and use that. And as we all know, if you sleep in a strange room, you tend not to fall asleep so easily, because you are like a tiny little bit, unfamiliar surroundings keep you awake a little bit better. A lot of people will get up and use the couch, and grab a couple of pillows and lay on the couch, which will often in a semi-reclined position, a couple of pillows behind you. It's not totally comfortable, which is a very good thing when you are trying for OBE. You need that slight discomfort, but also to be able to deeply relax with no disturbances, keep that mind awake, so you can allow the physical body to fall asleep while you keep your mind awake. And you'll know when your physical body falls asleep, you'll feel this warm, cozy, heavy wave come over you. It's a sinking feeling you get just before you fall asleep. But if your mind stays awake, of course, you can observe that while you're falling asleep. And when that happens, you know you're in an altered state of consciousness, your physical body's asleep, and it's just the right time for having an astral projection, for using an OBE technique, like feeling yourself climbing a rope or a ladder out of your body, and rolling out of your body, feeling yourself rolling out of body, and various other techniques. Check my website, astrodynamics.com, or you should, if you're watching this, go to the astralbob.com website where you can download a free copy, e-copy, of my first edition Astral Dynamics, which has a lot more detail than I can fit into this book video. It's a 600-page book, so it has a lot of detail in it. And it'll tell you a lot more about altered states and slight discomfort and ideal conditions. And anyway, good luck with your venture, and I'll see you in the astral sometime, I hope. Bye.